Use the following 10 count to adjust the volume on your TV. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Watson-Barker Listening Test, Revised Video Version, Form C. The Watson-Barker Listening Test is designed to assess your overall listening ability through a series of video messages followed by questions about the messages. The test is divided into 5 sections, each representing a different type of listening situation. A narrator will provide specific instructions before you begin each section. All test items are presented on the video screen. After each item, the narrator will ask a question and then read aloud the 4 possible answers presented on the screen. Listen to and read all possible answers before marking the correct answer on your answer sheet. After you have marked your answer, direct your attention back to the video screen and get ready to listen to the next item. The following sample item is representative of one of the types of items you will hear. In this situation, you are asked to listen to a request and then decide which of the 4 answers would logically follow the request. You are asked to mark the letter corresponding to the most appropriate response in the box marked Sample Question on your answer sheet. Listen carefully.
These 2 letters will have to be sent by overnight mail. And please fax this letter by 3 o'clock this afternoon. And these orders can be sent parcel post.
Sample Item 1. A. All the mail should be sent out today. B. The letters should be sent first class. C. The letters should be faxed. D. The orders should be sent overnight mail. If you marked the letter A on your answer sheet, you chose the most appropriate response. Note that the situation implies that all the mail should be sent out today. None of the other responses are consistent with the situation. Now let's begin the Watson-Barker listening test. During the next few minutes, you will be watching and listening to 8 short segments. You will only hear and see them once, so watch and listen very carefully. After each segment, the narrator will read 4 possible answers. Listen to the 4 answers given and fill in the letter on your answer sheet you think represents the best answer.
The trainer's performance was better during the afternoon sessions than in the morning.
Question 1. A. The earlier performance was better than the later one. B. The earlier performance was not as good as the later one. C. The trainers presented a challenging morning session. D. The longest session was presented in the afternoon.
After calling on 4 businesses on Monday, Jim sold only 1 ad, but on Tuesday he called on 6 businesses and sold 5 ads.
Question 2. A. Jim sold most of his ads on Monday. B. Jim should call on at least 6 businesses a day. C. Jim sold a total of 7 ads. D. Jim called on 10 businesses.
Last summer, Janice attended their seminar and took advanced courses in investment banking.
Question 3. A. Janice took advanced courses during the summer. B. Janice wants to improve her accounting skills. C. It's easier to take seminars during the summer. D. The seminar covered basic topics in investment banking.
If the managers aren't convinced that a writing seminar is necessary, it's bound to fail.
Question 4. A. The seminar will be a failure. B. The seminar doesn't have enough support. C. Poorly administered seminars fail. D. Successful seminars need management support.
Many employees work most efficiently when they have deadlines to meet, even if they are arbitrary ones.
Question 5. A. Arbitrary deadlines enhance creativity at work. B. Deadlines often encourage more efficiency. C. Employees waste time when they have arbitrary deadlines. D. Deadlines help employees reduce errors.
Many of the employees thought of the department that Joan supervised as a home away from home rather than just an office.
Question 6. A. Joan feels at home in her office. B. Some offices make employees feel uncomfortable. C. Employees work more efficiently in homey offices. D. Joan's office made employees feel at ease.
I go at 8 a.m. tomorrow for jury duty.
Question 7. A. I'll be out of the office tomorrow morning. B. Jury duty is scheduled in the afternoon. C. I volunteered for jury duty. D. Jury duty is required.
The careless errors that Sally made on the typing test cost her a chance for a promotion.
Question 8. A. Sally received a warning from her supervisors. B. Sally made 2 careless errors. C. Sally lost her chance for a promotion. D. Sally types very fast. In Part 2, you will hear and see 6 short conversations between 2 individuals. At the end of each conversation, the narrator will ask 1 or more questions about what was just seen and heard. The conversations and questions will only be heard 1 time. After you hear a conversation and a question about it, listen to the 4 answers given and fill in the letter you think best represents the answer.
When will you finish that report?
I don't know. I got the charts and graphs ready this morning, but the visuals need final editing.
As soon as you finish, want to grab a cup of coffee?
After I finish the report, I have to finish our timesheet.
Question 1. When will these employees be able to meet for a cup of coffee? A. Later that afternoon. B. Once the visuals are edited. C. When the report is approved. D. After the timesheet is finished.
Hi, Kim. I have a meeting with a client in a few minutes and have to hurry, but I just wanted to call and check to see if I have any messages.
You just got a call from Boston. That appointment for tomorrow afternoon has been postponed until the next morning because 3 committee members couldn't make the meeting.
Question 2. Since 3 of the committee members couldn't make it, the meeting was A. Rescheduled next week. B. Rescheduled for the next afternoon. C. Postponed indefinitely. D. Postponed until the next morning.
Is this U.S. travel? I'd like to make reservations for a flight from Denver to Miami, San Francisco, New York, Houston, and Detroit.
Oh, you have the wrong number. This is U.S. Van Lines. We move people to those cities, but not by air. Please dial again.
Question 3. How many cities did the caller need reservations for? A. 3. B. 4. C. 5. D. 6. Question 4. The customer was interested in flight schedules to A. Chicago, B. Denver, C. San Diego, D. Miami.
I've got good news. We received your credit card registration yesterday. Now you don't have to call all of your credit card companies.
Well, at least I had one thing go right. That's one advantage of registering my credit cards. I just never thought I would lose my wallet.
Question 5. What is one advantage of a credit card agency? A. Information is available on the Internet. B. Credit checks take only a few minutes. C. Membership is inexpensive. D. The registry contacts companies for you. Question 6. What happened to the man's credit cards? A. They were stolen. B. They were lost. C. They were left at home. D. They were destroyed.
You said that your appointment is for Tuesday at 2:15 and that your name is Mr. Rodriguez. I'm sorry, I don't seem to find your name, and Miss James won't be in until 3 o'clock.
Perhaps my name is not on the calendar. I called Miss James personally to set up the appointment last week.
Maybe I can help. What was your appointment in reference to, Mr. Rodriguez?
Question 7. Who scheduled the appointment? A. Miss James. B. Mr. James. C. Mr. Rodriguez. D. The receptionist.
Well, this month's orientation session certainly went more smoothly than the one last month.
Well, putting on a new program for the first time is the worst. Developing new material, timing activities, and figuring out logistics is tough.
Question 8. What did you learn about this orientation program? A. It did not run very smoothly. B. This was the second time it was given. C. It was the second program this month. D. The program won't be offered in the future. In Part 3 of this listening test, you will see and hear 3 short talks. After each talk, you will be asked 1 or more questions. The talks and questions will be seen and heard only one time. You will have to listen very carefully in order to understand what each speaker says. When you hear a question, listen to the 4 answers given and fill in the letter that represents the best answer.
Sarah, good morning. I came in early to try to clean off my desk. Look, since our managers have the communications seminar scheduled from 9 to 12, there are several things that I need for you to take care of before 8. First, make sure that there are plenty of pencils, pads of paper, ashtrays, and chairs in the conference room. Then check with the trainers and make sure that all the equipment is working and available. Finally, have all the managers forward their calls to you so that you can take their messages. Oh yes, I would like you to go through my routine mail. I'll be back from my meeting downtown about 10 o'clock. I'll answer your questions then.
Question 1. The arrangements for the seminar need to be completed by A. 11 o'clock. B. 10 o'clock. C. 9 o'clock. D. 8 o'clock. Question 2. What should managers do with their calls? A. To forward them to their secretaries. B. Forward them to you. C. To transfer them to voicemail. D. To hold them until the meeting is over.
Today, international travel has become so complicated that it is important to keep up with all travel rules and regulations governing baggage allowances. Transatlantic carriers have changed the free baggage allowance from a weight to a piece system. Now passengers may check in 2 suitcases. The maximum height, length, and width of each piece of luggage is 62 inches. Passengers are also allowed 1 piece of carry-on baggage that may not exceed 45 inches. Children between 2 and 12 years of age are entitled to the same baggage allowances as adults. Infants under 2 years of age may have 1 piece of baggage checked if it's 45 inches or less. After arriving in Europe, you may find different baggage allowance systems. Generally speaking, however, you'll be safe if your luggage does not weigh over 66 pounds for first class and 44 pounds for economy class. Since baggage requirements vary, it is a good idea to check with each airline individually.
Question 3. Transatlantic scheduled carriers now use A. A weight system. B. A piece system. C. A combination of systems. D. A dimension system. Question 4. The new system allows children to check in A. 2 suitcases and 1 carry-on item. B. 1 suitcase and 1 carry-on item. C. 2 suitcases and no carry-on items. D. 1 suitcase and no carry-on items. Question 5. To be safe, first-class travelers should keep their baggage weight under A. 44 pounds. B. 45 pounds. C. 62 pounds. D. 66 pounds.
If you are one of the 3.5 million Americans who owe back taxes, start sweating. While other federal agencies are laying off employees, the Internal Revenue Service has hired 4,000 more staffers to track down tax deadbeats. That will increase the agency's enforcement efforts by nearly a third, enabling it to collect an estimated $2.7 billion in additional taxes this year.
The Internal Revenue Service is increasing its employees by nearly A. 3,000 employees. B. A third. C. A fourth. D. 4,500 employees. Question 7. How much additional money should the IRS collect this year? A. 2.3 billion. B. 2.4 billion. C. 2.5 billion. D. 2.7 billion. Question 8. Based on the changes in the Internal Revenue Service, A. Back interest should be collected. B. Additional accountants will be needed. C. Additional tax money should be collected. D. Delinquent taxpayers will pay additional penalties. At times, how something is said is more important than what is said. Watch and listen to the following segments. The words could be interpreted in several different ways. Determine the meaning of the message by listening to and watching the feelings and attitudes expressed by each speaker. After you hear each statement or question, listen to the 4 meaning choices and fill in the letter you think represents the best choice.
Congratulations, you finally made a sale.
Question 1. A. I am so proud of you. B. It took you long enough. C. It's easy once you get the hang of it. D. I had confidence in you.
Have you finished typing those letters yet?
Question 2. A. I'd like to help if you haven't finished. B. Just checking. I've got more when you finish those. C. You are so slow. I could do it faster myself. D. Your work never seems to end.
We won't be able to see you today.
Question 3. A. He'd like to see you, but he is busy. B. Maybe later. He has an appointment. C. You're the last person he wants to see. D. He'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, I'd be happy to make your reservations.
Question 4. A. If you can't make them, I have the time. B. I can't wait for you to leave town. C. I'll help any way I can. D. I'll do it for you, but not anyone else.
This is what I call a meeting.
Question 5. A. We were in and out of there quickly. B. Meetings are a waste of time. C. We never had a chance to talk. D. We only had one break all day.
I'll call you.
Question 6. A. Don't call me again. B. I'll give you a call later. C. I want you to hear the news from me. D. It is faster to call than to write.
I'm doing my best.
Question 7. A. I like working for you. B. No one is satisfied with my work. C. I haven't made mistakes. D. Are you doing your best?
How long will she be away from her desk?
Question 8. A. I saw her here a minute ago. B. Are you trying to get rid of me? C. Should I hang around or come back later? D. What time did she leave? During the next few minutes, you will be watching and listening to 3 sets of instructions or directions. At the end of the instructions or directions, a narrator will ask 1 or more questions about what was said. The instructions or directions will be given only 1 time. When you hear a question, listen to the 4 answers given and fill in the letter that represents the best choice.
In the event that paper jams the copier, you should follow these simple procedures. Lift the top to see if the paper is visible. If the paper is visible, remove the paper and try again. If the paper is not visible, turn the machine off, close the lid, and open the front panel. Next, check the rollers and remove the paper. Then, after you've removed the paper, push the red reset button. Finally, after closing the front panel, turn the machine on, and you should be ready to begin. If all else fails, call the repair number on the right side of the machine.
Question 1. Immediately after removing the paper from the rollers, you should A. Push the red reset button. B. Close the front panel. C. Turn off the machine. D. Open the front panel. Question 2. When checking to see if the paper is visible, you should first A. Lift up the top. B. Open the front panel. C. Turn off the machine. D. Check the rollers. Question 3. If all the procedures fail, the repair number is located A. On the top right of the machine. B. On the front of the machine. C. On the right side of the machine. D. On the back of the machine.
Hello. I was told Ruth Jackson's office is in room 723.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson's office has been moved to our Riverside location.
Look, I have driven all the way across town. It seems that your switchboard operator should know about changes like this. Can you give me directions?
Yes, I certainly can. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. You'll need to go back to I-15, take the west entrance, and drive towards the river. Get off at Gibson Street exit and take a left off the ramp. Then take another left at the second traffic light. Our building's on the left, 1325 Wide Avenue.
Question 4. Where was Miss Jackson's office moved to? A. Downtown. B. Riverside. C. Gibson Street. D. Jackson Avenue. Question 5. The secretary instructed the customer to A. Take a left at the first light. B. Get off at the Wide Avenue exit. C. Turn left at the west entrance. D. Take the west entrance on I-15.
Many memos are written unnecessarily. Write a memo only when you have a definite purpose. When you do write a memo, be sure to include the following: the date, names of primary readers, names of people getting copies, your name, and the subject of the memo. Formats may vary, but for all purposes, use the following guidelines. All memos should be typed on the company letterhead. Be sure to include the date in the middle of the top of the stationery heading. Skip at least 4 spaces and type to. This is names of primary readers and their titles. Next, type from, your name and title. Then type re, subject of the memo. And finally, when appropriate, type copies. That is, a list of names of people receiving the memo. After you or your secretary types the memo, be sure to initial beside your name and the heading.
Question 6. After typing the names of your primary readers, you should type A. Enclosures. B. Your name. C. The subject of the memo. D. Copies. Question 7. We suggest ordering the items the following way. A. Date, copies, to, from, Ray. B. Copies, to, from, date, Ray. C. To, from, copies, Ray, date. D. Date, to, from, Ray, copies. Question 8. The final step in writing a memo is to A. List the names of the primary readers. B. Initial your name. C. Make and send copies. D. Have the memo typed. This is the end of Section 5 and the end of the Watson-Barker listening test, Form C, video version.